Yolanda Martinez. Welcome to Resilience Radio. Introduce yourself you already have built-in fans around here.
Hello, everyone. It is so awesome to be here. I am Yolanda from New Mexico, master drum maker, author, performer, songwriter. What else can I say?
Well, the Wonder Woman role is already taken, but you're a close second.
Thank you. Thank you. It is so wonderful to be here. It's been a long time.
So before we get too far ahead, I want to give people a chance to grab a pencil. What is your website?
It's very simple, yolandasdrums.com.
Bingo. And we'll announce it again throughout because I want people to because you got a newsletter, you seem to be really
Yeah.
accessible and wanting to connect to people.
Yes, it took me quite a while to get to the point where I am this accessible and stuff out. For years I wanted to get a tech person to help me, and it didn't happen till a couple years ago. And I met a wonderful, wonderful tech person that's helping me a lot.
Well, I'm sure you and I have phone numbers memorized from the 80s, but can't remember a phone number since the cell phones came out, right?
I know, can't remember anything.
Oh, I don't even remember what my gas pump number is by the time I get from the pump to inside the store. So,
I know, I used to remember old phone numbers, addresses. I mean, it's amazing how we have just kind of, actually dumbed ourselves down so much.
yep, we're more reliant on some of these machines than we are
Mhm.
ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know how good or bad it is, but it is. It's what it is now.
Yeah, well, and it's, I think, like a lot of stuff, it's what we do with it. So if we use it as a tool to connect and enhance each other, hooray. But if we're just using it as an external brain, that's not that's not going to serve us, I think, in the long
That's
run.
not good. Yeah. And like they say, everything in moderation and everything in balance. We have to stay balanced in every aspect of ourselves.
Yes, yes, we do. So I wanted to start with the drum because it seemed like the drum happened everywhere around the world at the same time.
Yes, well, it's been in just about every culture on the planet, you know, and that really should tell us how important the drum is because it's our connection to our mother, to ourselves, to nature, to spirit, to everything. And when that gift came, I had no idea the importance of it. I knew nothing about the drum, and now, looking back and what all I've been through, what the world has been through since then, you know, it is the drum that is joining us and keeping us connected and solid and grounded.
Well, and what is it in your heart or philosophy? Why does a simple circular thing hold so much of who we are as humans?
Well, I'll show you.
Yes, she will.
Just close your eyes. Everyone, just close your eyes. And I hope that Zoom doesn't deaden the mic.
Zoom is
Is
canceling.
it coming through?
Nope.
Yeah, it's deadening it. See, it's the vibration. It's about vibration. This is why sound healing has become so important. It is the vibration that is coming out of the drum, because it's made from the standing people, the wood. It is made from the four-legged that have given of themselves. it's nature, and we are nature. And that is why this little rounds, octagonal, whatever size it ends up being, this is why it's so important, especially now, because of where Earth Mother is, and how we need to stay connected. So she is in the midst of ascending, and we are going with her if we're awake enough.
And the AI, the computers, all that sees us as noise, not
Yes.
as what it is.
Well, the thing is, Spirit brought us technology. So technology isn't bad. It's like anything. If we get addicted to things, it doesn't matter if it's alcohol, food, you know, men, women, whatever, you know, it's how we use it as a tool and not as crutch, say a crutch.
Well, life is hard and weird. And when you don't have connection to your culture or to good people or to anything, you become so dependent on these crutches.
Yes, and it's worrisome how the young people, that's all they know because that's all they've been shown. So it's up to them. They're going to have to stand up for themselves. They are the ones that are going to have to search out the elders, search out the grandmas, the grandpas, search out something more. You know, it used to really, worry me some, but I don't worry anymore. I get concerned about things, and the young people coming in now are so far ahead of us. you know, I mean, I was pretty awake when I was little, but I look at my grandkids and where they are and the things they come up with and stuff. It's amazing, and it's this information that is within them that they need to connect with, that they need to just let go enough to kind of start wondering who you are. Why are you here? You know, why did I come to this planet called Earth Mother? I mean, just start asking simple questions and pick a seed. Maybe I'm planting a little seed inside of them. I hope so, because there's no elders, the parents are, they're so locked into their work and what they're going through in this world. So I think Spirit is putting them here and really testing them. Are you here or aren't you? Are you going to awaken or aren't you?
Well, we also, this modern colonized society, it's like the rites of passage are turning 18 or 21. We don't have those ceremonial bridges to kind of lead us up to adulthood. It's kind of like you're 18, kick open the door, go figure it out.
Yeah.
There's not that connection and patience with what you're
Yeah,
going.
there's not the coming out ceremonies anymore. There's not the young men, going out on the mountain alone or on their first hunt. You know, the thing is that is our past, that some of us were really blessed to have and to experience. So it is a total new world now, and I think we need to, instead of just concentrating on what's not here, we really need to concentrate on where are you right now and what is available right now, what is in front of you right now, whether it's a book, whether it's a new person you just met. It's a total new world, so we need to shift into that to make it easier for us.
Well, I've noticed too that interactions between humans, some of these younger generations are more afraid of making a friend at the bus stop or talking to somebody in line at Walmart, or it's they're almost more comfortable interacting with each other through a screen, not really in person. So that makes me sad too, because when you're out in the world, that's how creator kind of does
Yeah.
those organic, weird, happy connections you make just by existing out there, But if you're closed in on your couch doing the scroll, you're missing that.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have an aura. When I sit with you in person, like you're just oozing, you're oozing magic. So I think a lot of that is lost in screens and stuff, and there's so much just kind of fear of each other.
Yeah, we're lacking in human connection, even in restaurants, not just the young. Everybody, instead of sitting, visiting, and saying hi to the person, table next to you, or just conversation. You're right. Everybody is like this in their phone, As soon as they sit down, they pull the phone out.
Well, because it's like
So
yeah, like we're not comfortable with ourselves in that quiet place, let alone comfortable with each other in that quiet place.
I know, it has gotten to that point where it's harder, and one of the things that spirit keeps insisting is that we slow down and we go into that quiet space, and people are too uncomfortable to do that because they have to look at themselves, they have to face themselves, and that's not easy.
But it's also not bad. Yes, it may be uncomfortable for a minute, but I like me, right? The more
Oh,
that I learn to sit in those spaces, I'm comfortable with myself and I understand more why I chose to come back to this planet in this body. Even though it's hard and weird, there's so much joy, right? And just awesome, the weird synchronicities and things that just let me know that I'm doing something right sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's not easy, but like you say, it's just for a couple moments, a few moments, you know. And there again comes in the being patient with yourself, being patient with what's around you, and it is that going within that is really going to help us to shift the energy on Earth Mother.
Well, that's why I think I appreciate your work because you're in modern places, but you're like drum making classes and things like that. Like you're not forcing people, but you're really putting the phone down and learning from a human, not the YouTube. And music is healing and connects everybody. You don't have to know the language to feel the music.
Yeah. Yes, and the thing is, I'm all over. I'm still, at this age traveling like crazy and stuff. But it's so worth it because, like you say, I'm not forcing anyone. Guess what, people? People are showing up for it. So there are people that are still or coming back and reconnecting or connecting anew. You know, there are so many people out there looking for answers, whether it be through the drum, whether it be through music, because I did that part with my music too when I was performing and stuff. There's so many different modalities, and the wonderful thing is that there are people out there still willing to connect and search.
So, do you I'm imagining like the listeners out there in our beautiful Nevada County. Are you available for classes? Like if somebody contacts you and says, "Hey, will you come out and teach a class?" Are you open to things like that?
Oh yes, I'm still doing that. I'm slowing down, and because shoot, I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. And I am getting up there, and my body, I'm doing my best to keep myself healthy and strong and going. But I'm still doing at least a couple, 2 or 3 workshops, a year. And what I'm hoping to do more of is maybe just come in to, if people want me to come in, I'll come in and do a drumming and teach through, a drumming class or whatever. That way it doesn't break my body down so much, and I'm still going, still at it.
Now, we the cultural appropriation, people taking stuff without learning the right way or permission. I kind of don't I don't really feel that way with the drum because again, the whole world had it. So do you, when you do classes or things like that, do you kind of teach a respectable way for people to approach this without
Of course.
over claiming it, you know what I mean?
No, of course. I mean, the whole process from the beginning, I smudge, I do it with an opening prayer. I smudge everybody. I bless the hides. I mean, from the moment I get those hides, they get smudged. When I unwrap them, they get smudged. Before I put them to soak, they get smudged. When I take them out of the water, they get smudged. And this is what I teach at my drum making classes. This is what I teach, that it's, this hoop that you have, you know, came from the last workshop I did. I was blessed by my apprentice that put it on, Amara. The redwoods are close to her up um, above San Francisco. So we went there the day before, and oh my God, it was so wonderful and healing and everything. And, I'm telling people these hoops are from the standing people. They're alive, they're connected. I mean, they're connected forever with, and if your energy and your vibration's high enough, you can connect with them. They talk to you. So I explain where the hoop comes from, and then the four-legged, if they're using elk, I, talk about the elk, the one that bellows, that sings out in the wilderness and announces, I'm here. And I mean, I don't just show them how to make a drum. It's so much more than that, because it's so important to know that it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's not just a craft project or an art project.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual project just as much.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And then the day after we make the drums, I do what I call a birthing ceremony, a drumming. So they get to hear the voice of their drum for the very first time, you know. And then I teach them, other things through that drumming, and it's it's a lot more than just creating a drum and playing it. I mean,
So,
these drums came from spirit to me. They came from spirit. How could it not be a powerful teaching?
do the different hides like mean different things if you're using a big old buffalo or a loud old elk or a dainty deer? Like, is that like, does the kind of hide you use have a significance or
Absolutely, because we're working with that spirit, the spirit of the elk, the spirit of the buffalo. And, when I first started making them years ago, I was using deer. I don't use deer anymore because it's such a gentle, soft, thin hide. If I do get deer, I use it on the smaller drums, but the buffalo and the elk and the horse, I work a lot with horse, and these hides that come. And horse is so awesome. I grew up with horses, so I've always been very connected with horse. And So each one has its own energy. And all you have to do is play a drum, a different height, and you'll hear it and you'll feel it.
Well, I feel like when I think about like my big old stubborn paw, it seems like he'd be buffalo, right? I'm loud and my mom can hear me miles away, so I
Yeah.
think I think the elk's loudness might, so it's kind of and horses, the power, the energy, but also they I don't know, approaching horses is a totally different vibe thing. It's not like when you meet a dog out on the street, like horses, there really is this like you have to right before you even approach him, because if you're coming off where the horse, no interest.
No, no, or he'll turn and walk away.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, horse is so beautiful. They're so awesome.
So do you have any horses now? Are you around any horses?
No, a dear friend of mine, Anne, used to have a ranch where she had horses and she did the equestrian, I guess, work with them, with the children and the soldiers and stuff. That's proving to be really powerful medicine and healing.
Just connecting with an animal can heal stuff. It feels like a duh to you and me,
Yeah.
but a lot of people they seem to disconnect from what creator has given us to start that healing.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing is, people that have never been really around animals and stuff, when, if they get the gift of going to a place where there are horses, and feel that connection, that energy, it's really powerful and very healing.
I live in the middle of nowhere and I leave out water, so I've had this like parade of bears the past few years. And I
Ooh.
was out in the carport and one caught me off guard. So I dropped to my knees, just really trying to center myself because if I ran, I didn't want to trigger anybody's instinct reflexes of fear. So I just
Yeah,
dropped to my knees and got real still, and the bear sniffed my face, looked at me, and then just turned around and gently walked off.
he was
Right?
that close.
It was that
My
close. And
God.
that's why I didn't want to run. I didn't want to start,
No.
like, I didn't know what to do except just be here now. So I kind of, went down to my knees and got small and just really tried to calm myself down. And this, I don't know,
He
unknown,
counted coup on you touching your
yep,
nose.
and I was too scared to see if it wanted me to pet it, but like,
Ooh.
but that level of trust and surrender, was like a big thing that I keep reminding myself. Like when the fear comes, go to that place like I did with the bear of just trust and surrender.
Yeah, wow. That was powerful.
Yeah, but
Powerful message for you.
I still get
Grandmother
goosebumps.
Bear. That's the dream time, the going within. You need to look it up, see what comes in your meditations and prayers. That was very powerful.
Well, and it's since that I can tell when this one bear is going to show up because I have really vivid dreams the
Hmm.
days, the nights before I'll see this one bear. So I have no idea what it means, but I'm just tickled by it, like, and things reveal themselves later, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make sure I don't forget anything and remember what it feels like. And mm. Are there drums
Yeah.
made out of bear?
Yes, bear hide has come out
Wow.
for, I guess they started hunting bear. I'm not sure when. And I wasn't really sure, how I felt about it because I think they're so beautiful and powerful. But then Spirit says, they're hunting them anyway. Why not honor them by creating drums from them?
Well, in this area, the natives, they used to hunt bears, but only like vital necessity because they said they were too greasy.
It is greasy, when I was living in Alaska. I lived on Kodiak. I mean, those were the giant 20-foot bears. So you didn't want to come stumble onto one for sure. But my neighbor, who was this beautiful elder that was, I think, in his 70s when I first met him, when I moved up there, he invited a group of people over and he had bear. And yeah, no, I didn't like it.
right?
Very greasy and kind of stringy. I don't know. I didn't like it.
See, so not everything's for eating.
Nope. Nope.
And then
Nope.
and then also learning like um some of the stories told here because I'm in the Sierra Nevadas that we watched what the bear ate, so we learned kind of what to eat,
Hmm.
right? So why kill
Yeah.
this thing that's teaching us so much?
Yeah.
So they would track the bear not for hunting, but oh, the bear would find a watering hole. The bear would find where the fish were, right? Because bear's better at it, that big old schnoz.
Yeah. Well, in the olden days, that's what all the tribes did was follow the animals to find the water holes and all of that. So
Well, and I think people forget too that we are animal. We like to get
we
the,
are part of nature. We're no
yeah,
different.
I'm
We're
man.
no different from them.
I am apex. No, we are very mammal. When I see little videos of like a lion cub nipping at her kids, I always send it to my mom, because mom has got to, they got to be rough with this sometimes because those kids are rowdy and
Yeah.
annoying. And so,
Yeah.
but we are very animal and very part of this, not above it, not bigger
Yeah.
than it. And that's what I think I appreciate about you because you talk about balance. You still seek those connections with the animal as being an animal, not as an intellectual. I am man. Let's dissect this intellectually,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I mean, growing up as I did in Carlsbad, New Mexico, I grew up with the animals. I grew up with, the rabbits, the horses, and the insects, the lizards, and all of that. And I used to talk to all of them. I didn't know. I thought everybody did. you know. So, and this is why I grew up so connected to Earth Mother, to her nature, because her nature is so beautiful. And I love your baby there.
Hey, we start talking about the animals and they
I
show up.
know. And they show up. I love it. But
This,
no, they're so powerful and they can teach us and do teach us so much, you know, every day, every moment. So, I'm always aware, especially because I love to go walking in the mornings out in the desert. I'm just aware of what's around me. And when the quail go by, I say hi to the quail, the rabbits, the jackrabbits, and when I walk, this is when I grew up, I used to spend hours playing with the ants. I would literally just squat down on an ant hill, giant ant hill, and just watch the ants bringing stuff up from out of the earth. And every time they'd bring up little crystals, I'd get the crystals, and I had a little can that I collected all my little crystals.
wow.
And I used to pick them up, and I'd say, hey, you're doing a great job. And they'd be trying to bite me, because and then I put them down and they'd yell at me, and then go back to work. So when I go walking now, I'm aware of the ants. I don't want to step on any of the ant beings, as I'm walking. I'm very aware of what's around me.
But you're honoring even then those little parts and pieces that colonization says are a nuisance or an infestation or
Yeah.
unnecessary. The only animal I haven't connected with is the mosquitoes, man, because
Oh
just
no.
they
Yeah.
just make me itch. I'll talk to the ants and say hi
You
from
tell them you
Yolanda,
you you bite me, you die.
right?
Yep.
Bite back. Yep. But it
Yeah.
is, and that really just it comes through with you. It really does. Like there's just a calming, like, I don't know, I would like to have you as my emotional support animal because there's just something so calming about you that to me, I feel even when I play your music on air, there's something that immediately I hear your voice and a part of me just feels a little bit more grounded.
Mm,
So that's why I'm
thank
always
you.
sneaking in your music. And that's why, today we're going to talk to you and we're just going to play a bunch of your music.
Good, good, good.
So how many albums do you have? Because I feel like in my collection over the years is like seven,
I
eight-ish.
have I have 10 recordings. 10 recordings is what I was able to do.
Because you got Native American Music Awards. So when did the record? I'm assuming this singing started young, but when was the like, I'm gonna make an album? When did that start?
Well, I've been singing, I mean, even when I was little and growing up in Carlsbad, I grew up working in the fields. So my mom was a singer. She had a powerful voice, great, beautiful voice. So I got the gift from my mom. And we'd be out, chopping cotton or picking cotton or something, and everybody would say, "Sing, you gotta sing." So my mom would start singing, and I'd harmonize with her, and so I've always been, a singer and love singing. And I, when it's funny because when people would tell me, "Oh, that was good," I thought they were just being nice. I didn't think I could really sing. So when when I was in California, I had moved from Monterey to Modesto because I wanted to buy a home for me and my girl, my baby girl. Is when I got sick, because I wasn't listening to Spirit. That was in '89. And Spirit had already been knocking at my door for a couple of years saying, "Yolanda, Yolanda, you're not listening. You're not following your path. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing." And I'm going, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. You're a teacher, you're a spiritual leader, you're this, you're that." I'm going, "What am I to teach? I didn't even go to college. I just graduated high school. What am I going to teach?" So when I moved to Modesto, by then it had been 2 years and I got poisoned. I bought a bottle of vitamins at Great Earth Vitamin in 1989, right after the holidays. And I started taking 2,000 milligrams a day of poison, and I didn't know it. There was a poisoning that happened back then, and it was a doctor in Albuquerque that finally figured out what was happening because people were dying left and right, and they didn't know what they were dying from. And I was already in a wheelchair. I lost the sight of this eye. I had lost 3/4 of my hair. I cut it short and put it in a little bun because, I mean, it was falling and I didn't want to take a shower and wash it because it was falling. And my spine was drying up and I was curving. Like I said, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. And finally, when we figured out what it was, I tell my doctor, "Okay, great. Now we know what we need to do to cure me." And when he says there is no cure, that's when I just gave up. I said, "No, I can't handle this." The pain was so extreme. It was like I was standing in the middle of a bonfire and I was burning alive. The poison was affecting all my nerve endings, and my nerve endings were raw. Nobody could touch me, even the shower. I would cry in the shower because it was that painful. So I decided I'm checking out. I'm done. I even made a will as to who I wanted to finish raising my daughter, who at the time was 9 years old. And I just started praying for Spirit to take me. I'm done. Take me. I can't take it anymore. And that's when I had a being one night appear to me. And we had a nice long talk that night. And he cleared up what I wasn't understanding. And he says, You're not listening. You are not listening. You need to remember who you are, where you came from, how you grew up, and understand that not everybody understands what you do. And you need to know that nobody can raise your daughter like you can. She chose you to come and be here. So you need to finish raising her. And you need to see who you are. And when we tell you that you are to make drums, you are to make drums. Spirit does not make mistakes. So that night is when I surrendered and I said, okay, I will do that, but I need guidance. I know nothing about the drum, you know? And so that's how it started. And out of the drum, not too long after that, when I started, because they wanted to put me in the hospital and all of that, and I refused. I refused because I knew I wasn't going to come out if I went in the hospital.
Well, and it further
So,
isolates you, right? From the
yeah,
things that creator's going to give you to help you. It isolates you from alternative medicines and foods. Like,
exactly. So I decided, no, I'm not going in the hospital. And all my family was insisting that I needed to go. And so I just decided I'm going to cure myself. So I went to a herbalist and she told me about detoxing my blood because the poison was eating me up from the inside out, was in all my organs and everything. And so she made a tea that I took, and that and just natural fruit juice, fasted for 3 days to start with, as much as I could. Anyway, after that, Spirit says I was to start working with the women. So that's when I started the Central Valley Moon Lodge in Modesto. I started with 7 women that were helping me, and you know, I told them the message that I got, that I was to start working with the women. And they got all excited. Oh, yeah, we'll help you. We'll help you. Well, after a year, it grew to over 300 women.
wow.
We had women, Central Valley Moon Lodges going up and down the valley. And we would gather every solstice and equinox. This is all guided through spirit, that we needed to gather at those times on Earth Mother, which are peak powers for the planet. And we did healing ceremonies for us all and everything. And doing all this, and at the same time, I was working on getting the drum, creating the drum, trying to figure it out. And I was teaching the women the drumming songs that, that were coming to me and that other people were getting and sharing. And that's when Spirit told me it was time for me to go east to Asheville. So I was leaving, and the women were adamant that I couldn't leave without leaving them the music so they could continue, the singing and stuff. And that's when I decided to go into a little home studio that was there in Modesto, me and my daughter, and we recorded my very first recording, a little cassette called Resounding Spirituality. And I had 500 copies made. Well, in not even a couple of months, in a couple of weeks, they all went. And I'm going, oh, maybe they do like my singing. That's when I realized I could sing. I didn't know. So, they sold and wow, I'm blown away. I couldn't believe it. And that's how my recording career started.
Well, I like how Spirit asks something of you, but then Spirit also gives you the people and tools and visions. It's not,
Always.
hey, like we need you to do this, and then you're just in a void alone. Like it's like the second you surrender and start to listen, you're given
But
what you need to help yourself and help us.
yeah, but remember what I said to Spirit? I need help. I need your guidance. And Spirit is always waiting for us to ask for help. And I always ask for help. When something new comes up, I go, okay, well, then show me the way. I will follow. I will do that. But I need help because, like everyone, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm following Spirit's guidance, but we have to listen. We need to tune in. This is when it's important to have the quiet moments, the walking in nature. That's how I meditate, walking in nature, you know.
Well, and animals really do talk. I pulled up to a casino to meet my brother once, and this hawk flew by, and the hawk said, "You're going to lose all your money." And I, being the idiot I am, start arguing with the hawk. What do you know, hawk? Right? I'm in a native casino and I'm native. 3 minutes later, I lost 40 bucks. So I went, oh, I got to listen to the hawks and not just sit there and
Yeah,
argue.
yeah.
Right? Creator gives me a sign and I just start arguing with birds or
I
yelling.
know. I was arguing with Spirit. Nothing about drums. I'm not probably supposed to touch a drum, you know.
And then too, when you really are quiet, these synchronicities happen and the path and I feel like I'm right there on that. Like the path just starts to seem so obvious.
Yeah,
You
I
let it
know. Huh?
happen, right? Instead of this pressure of, oh, I need to build the road. No, you don't. It starts to just appear, little brick by brick.
Yes, it's amazing how what I'm discovering and learning, now is that we always have a million things we want to do every day, right? We want to accomplish this or this and this and this. And by the end of the day, I go, oh, well, I only got this and this done. Well, that's what we were supposed to get done that day. Nothing more. Spirit has it all planned. Just follow yourself, your guidance, connect with your higher self because your higher self is the one that can see further and tell you why don't turn that way, go this way, or whatever. You know, it's it's amazing how we love to complicate things and not trust. We do not trust ourselves. And that is the biggest mistake that we can make.
Because if you don't finish your to-do list, you're lazy. If you don't
Yeah,
conform
we
with
we chastise
colonized, yeah.
ourselves.
If you don't finish the list, then you're a failure. If you don't go as hard as colonization says you're supposed to, working 60 hours a week and having this house car and whatever, right? You start, it's just you feel like you're fighting a standard you're never gonna meet.
That's right. And you know what? You're not supposed to. You're supposed to honor yourself. You're supposed to honor where your body is. Your body is talking to you all the time. My body's okay, little one, time to sit down, or okay, that's enough. So, all right. So I shut it down and I go and now sit outside or sometimes even go lay down. You know, I have to because I learned the hard way. I got hit with a 2x4 when I was 40 years old and almost died. Don't do that anymore.
Well, I was
I'm
like
listening.
42 in my situation, so that's interesting. There's something
Yeah.
about that age to where if you didn't listen before, you need to listen now.
Yeah. Yeah. They say every seven, Spirit says every 7 years, there's something that big, major that happens in our lives, you know.
Oh, I'm counting now. Where am I at in that seven? So, because radio unfortunately has a time limit, they won't just let us talk into somebody else's program. But your book, is your book still available?
Oh, yes, thank you for mentioning it. Yes,
So,
following Earth Mother's heartbeat.
which is kind of
Uh,
what we're talking about. So, you're putting that all in perspective into this book.
Yes. Yes, I talk about my journey from childhood in Carlsbad to going to Alaska, being the first woman to go commercial fishing,
You're so
to, driving down from Alaska all the way to San Jose, California. Me and my daughter, who was 3 years old. Everything is in here, how the drum came, and how I connected with spirit, the moon lodges, everything, and I think it's it's a way of showing people that, we're all the same. It's about trust, the big word trust. So following Earth Mother's heartbeat. It's on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble. I got lazy and didn't put it up on Apple. But it's on Audible. I recorded it with myself on
So,
Audible.
spoken by the author, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it took me 6 months to get it done. I thought, oh, shoot, I can get that done in a month. No problem. Yeah, right.
Well, and it's hard because you want to get through it. So you're reading the book like this day one, a lot of Martinez, you know what I mean? Like you have to slow down for every
Yeah.
page and sentence.
Yes, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be because I was reliving everything again, you
Wow.
know? Yeah,
And then something too, and versus reading it, saying it out loud somehow adds a different
yeah,
level of realness.
yeah, yeah. But I also want to announce that I'm starting a Zoom group, a monthly Zoom group. So people that would like to join me, and I think what I'd like to do is do it a women's, you know, version and then a co-ed version because I think our men are needing our help and our guidance too. We need them. We need the balance.
Yes. And they also are feeling the pressures of a man should be, a man needs to, a man this.
Yeah.
They're getting those messages from the colonized system, not our cultural system.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, we're being taught and told all the pressure of things that we need to be. But when we stop, like we already are these good things.
We have everything we need.
But we
We
need
have
you to
all the
keep reminding us.
information.
We're gonna, that's
Well,
why.
then come and see me at my Zoom.
And then has that started yet, or what is the best way for people? So in my head, it's go to your website, connect to your newsletter.
Yes, that'll give you information how to get a hold of me. And I'm open to come and speak to your group, to, come and do a drumming workshop if I can. Oh, and I do have um, a drum making school if you want to become a drum maker. And I started that because to me it's so important that the drum gets out there. I've been doing these for 40 years and I shipped them all over the world, but there's still not enough of the drums in people's hands. So I would love to have drum makers start making drums, whether it's with my way or your way, figure it out. But we need those drums. We need them.
Well, I also feel like the drum handle, I think some people need a spiritual bopping on the head every once in a while too.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just me. All right. So your website, one more time, darling.
yolandasdrums.com, plural. Yolandas. drums.
And the name of the book.
Following Earth Mother's Heartbeat.
And you're doing that. You
Yeah.
are 100%.
Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Great Spirit, for all its help and guidance. And, thank you for helping me to reach out to more of the audience and stuff. I love you so much and I honor you so much.
Yolanda, we're going to make any excuse we can to keep getting you back out to us because I'm in Mariposa, where I am, right? I'm straight shot. You take Modesto, draw a line to the mountains, and then you were in Atwater for a while.
No, I was in Manteca for a while.
Okay, okay.
When I came back from the East Coast, I was in Manteca for about a year and then I moved back to Las
See,
Cruces.
so we need to find some good excuses to
Yeah.
get you back in our hood. Yolanda Martinez, thank you so much for being a part of this program. And yeah, I'll see you in one of your monthly Zooms or wherever we can catch
Awesome.
up
Love that.
and
My
keep.
love to everybody there in Nevada City and that area.
All right, honey. Well, I hate to let you go, but they're gonna unplug us at some point.
Love you.
All right, I love you too. Thank you so much. Yolanda Martinez. Powerhouse. She's our native Wonder Woman, the wonderest of women's.